So here we are just waiting for the gentleman to line up onto the grid here. Will Jack spin? Says Wano Aski with a suggested poll. Let me see if I can action that. 1 second. While we wait for this to go on. Oh, I don't know how to action that. But will Jack spin? Maybe. Who knows? But he did a fantastic job in qualifying, so very happy about that. So who are we waiting for? We're just waiting for Mr. Kruger and Mr. Spook to line up. They have 7 seconds to go. They get there just in time. I need to just reset my replay buffer to make sure we have that all good. Go to live feed. There we go. So here they are rolling off. Let's have a look at our starting order, shall we? So we have Liam Fraser with Space Racing Team in first place, with David Kruger in the BMW in second, English 52 Space Racing Team sister car in P3, Spook in P4 with Ballast, Jack in P5 in the drive-by racing, followed by Twin Flow in the other full-time racing team with Ballast. Frozen Droid 7th, the last car with Ballast on the grid, Ricky Tan in 8th place, Wano Aski in 9th place, Xanax in the FLD racing team in 10th, the sister car JR in 11th place, Farmer Joe Racing Jordan in 12th, and then Wild Boys with the drive-by racing team is at the back of the grid. So we're just watching them now fly around, making sure everything is warmed up to spec, making sure they have everything they need. So as we just see them going through Aqua Minerale now, looking very, very good. Let's ride on board with our pole sitter. Where is he? He's going up the hill here, getting the car nicely done. So Mr. Fraser here, brand new to the GSMC, only raced a couple of times with us. His first pole position here. Can he convert this into the win? I know the BMW of Kruger is very, very fast off the start-finish line. We did have a practice start not 5 minutes before we started this stream, and he actually spun and crashed off the start line. So he's not going to want to repeat that, let me tell you. So as we watch him go through the final 2 corners, this pack just behind him looking good, looking very, very smart, everyone. Now as they head onto the line, this is where the nerves start to build. This is where the grip on the steering wheel gets a bit tighter. This is where you're just making sure everything's working. The car left and right, the tyres are up to temperature, you're checking through, making sure your black box and your date and everything's set correct. So the only thing you have to do when you get to the start line is put it into first gear and accelerate at the absolute right time and dump the clutch. You can see them all lining up nicely onto the grid. So we just got a few back markers to put up. The FLD racing team, Jordan at the back in the Farmer Joe Racing, and Wild Boys just behind them. So we have 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 20 minutes, sprint races, go, go, go. Liam Fraser gets a super start here. The BMW's a little bit slow on the inside here, but also Spook can't make heads or tails of it, so the BMW gets back up to speed really fastly as they now head down into the first Tamburello chicane. They are all looking tight and twisty here as we see them go through, looking at a little bit tight there through the second Space Racing team. So Spook gets the jump onto Space Racing of English 52 as they go through the second chicane here. And now they're powering down. He's going to have Twin Flow quickly on the back of him, but we see Jack nearly rear-end the second Full Wanton team. There is a bit of argy-bargy with the FLD racing team just behind. Looks like Liam Fraser has got away nicely here with David Kruger just behind. We have Spook into 3rd place, and we see English struggling up the hill here with Twin Flow absolutely pushing on. We've got a spinner at the back. That is a big impact into the wall there. That is Wild Boys spinning at the back. A huge impact into the barrier at Villeneuve here. So as they continue on up the hill, he has fallen way behind the pack here. As they're going into Aqua Minerale, we see English now just holding up the pack behind him. We have Jack and Twinflow now being held up by his. We see Twinflow now trying to make a move around the outside into the chicane. That would be a brave move if he gets that done. As he gets onto the brakes nice and easy. It looks like English is a little bit slower through here. Now Jack's pushing along Twinflow. Jack is not having any of this, but now Frozen Droid is onto the back of this pack as well. As they now head down into the final two corners. It is very, very difficult to overtake here, but we see Fraser, Kruger and Spook also very, very close together here at the front of the grid. We'll keep an eye on that battle as they head down. We know One Aski is super fast down this straight. We see Jack actually get a bad run through the exit of the final corner here, so we've got to see a move from Frozen Droid, I think, onto Jack into the first chicane. Frozen Droid looks like he might be lining up a dive down the inside, but Jack might just have the legs. He goes defensive on the inside. He does indeed. Frozen Droid on the brakes late, doesn't run into the back of him, gets a good job of slowing down the car. As we see Jack now continue on the way, but the battle here is Twinflow on English. English actually separated himself a little bit. We have 17 minutes remaining of the first sprint race. This is going brilliantly, apart from Wild Boys at the back of the grid. Lost a load of time in the incident, unfortunately. But yeah, we see, where is Ricky Town? Ricky Town down in 8th place, dropping off the back of the grid a little bit from Frozen Droid. But see Frozen Droid and Jack now. Frozen Droid really, really trying to get past him as he's pushing him up the hill. We saw him going sideways through Villeneuve. As they now head up the hill, Jack on the brakes as they turn in. Jack's going to run wide, I think. If he runs wide on the concrete, there's no grip there. It does keep him in just inbound, but now he's slow. He's very slow through Aquamarine. This is going to be a dive bomb and a half. If Frozen Droid goes through the inside there, thinks better of it. But look at this train now forming behind Jack. We see Twinflow still pushing English 52 up the hill. That is going to be a move and a half if he gets that done. He's looking for the outside, but English just defends the inside. Twinflow needs to try and cut back on the exit, but he doesn't get a good exit. And we actually just see Jack running wide behind him here. So Jack is going to be slow now into the last two left-handers. Ricky Tan's just dropped off a little bit from the back. He's now been chased hard by Xanax as they push in. Looks like Xanax was going for a move there on the inside of Ricky Tan. Nothing going though, so Ricky Tan survives for another day, but that has bunched everyone up. Can Frozen Droid now get the run? New best lap time from Fraser. For Fraser's now gapping the front of the grid, 6/10 of a second off he is. So he's now trying to pull a gap from Kruger and Spook. As we see now, Frozen Droid just doesn't have the legs in that McLaren to get onto the back of that Ferrari. Very interesting. That Ferrari is very, very slippery in a straight line. As they now go through the Tamburello chicane, powering out as they head on down into the second set of chicanes. So where's the battle here? So we've still got Twinflow and English 52 battling hard here. Is Twinflow going to try and make a move? English now holding the inside line, doing a good job, but is Twinflow going to try and stick a nose up the inside? No, he doesn't have anything going. So now as they push up the hill, the ballast is definitely going to be affecting him as they go on up into the top of the hill. Double left-hander. We see Frozen Droid having a look at Jack just behind as well. Let's ride on board with Frozen and see how close he gets. To go super wide there. Jack's slow out of that corner up the hill, but fast on the straights. But there is nothing going through these corners. You have to be an absolute madman to send one down the inside. But you see Jack run wide though. Frozen Droid just pushes him up the rear there, so he doesn't actually get any benefit. He just pushes Jack along just a little bit. So now Frozen Droid is going, but Jack is now defended through there.
That's safety car, safety car.
We have a safety car on track. Safety car, safety car. Where is the incident there? We see Ricky Tan drop to the back of the field, and also Aski. So I wonder what happened there. Let us have a look here. So we do have safety car out on track. All the cars are slowing down and bunching up. So it shouldn't be too bad for these guys to catch up to the safety car here. So let's have a look. So we can't see the safety car yet, but I wonder what happened. Was it a Ricky Tan spin here?
Yeah, he came back and collided with someone on track.
Copy that, look at that. So we've got two cars pitting now, Aski and Ricky Tan pitting, looking like for repairs and for some new tyres. What have we got left? We still have 14 minutes remaining of the 20-minute sprint race, so plenty of time for these guys to catch up. As we see, Liam Fraser did a really, really nice job at the start of the sprint here. I don't see a safety car out on track, which is worrying, but maybe just a little bit further up the hill. But that's not a problem. These are guys that are doing a fine job at keeping it all together. So, our very first safety car here in the GSMC Revengeance Cup. And yeah, let's take stock on what's going on. So we have Liam Fraser in the Space Racing team in first place still, with David Kruger just behind in the BMW, with Spooky in third place, English in fourth, Twin Flow fifth, Jack in sixth place, Jack downward place. We had Frozen Druid giving him a lot of pressure, and we see Ricky Tan and Askey still in the pits. They might go a lap down here if they're too much longer, but this is allowed Wild Boys as well. Wild Boys is going to be able to catch up to the back of the grid, so he's now going to be back into contention as well. So as we just see Ricky Tan now leaving the pits, we see the safety car just behind him, so they are not going to go a lap down, which is good news for them. So they will be able to circulate round and get back onto the grid. As we see the safety car now flying through, Ricky Tan needs to get out ahead of that thing, and he does so nicely. So it does look like the safety car is pretty flying along, as we just see the start of the grid now coming back round. Wow, so what a time to take stock of our first sprint race here, as we see Liam Fraser leading the pack along. While we're doing that, I didn't save a replay for the start of the race, so that's fine. We will continue looking along here, shall we? So where is Wild Boys? Wild Boys now down the start finish straight, and we've got Askey and Ricky Tan pushing on to try and catch up to the pack. But I think this might be a tall order, because we see the safety car is going at some pace here around. Is Liam catching up to the safety car? He is indeed. Okay, perfect. So let's have a look here. So yeah, these guys are flying around behind this safety car. This is a speedy safety car. So well, we've got 11 minutes remaining of the session, as we see Ricky Tan now going through the final two corners. Okay. Yeah, all the cars now tucked up nicely behind the safety car, just the last two drivers to spin back round. So that has sadly pushed Ricky Tan and Wano Askey down to the back of the grid, but promoted Jordan into a points position in 10th place, and Wild Boys into 11th place, and allows him to join back onto the grid and get back into the fight, which is nice for Wild Boys. We're still waiting for him to actually circulate back round. Yeah, so as we just see, the safety car looks like it's very, very fast here at Imola. So these guys at the back of the grid are going to really struggle to catch up, I think. So we might just have to send the safety car early. And unfortunately to these guys, we do have 10 minutes remaining of the session. So who knows how it will pay out here. As we see the lights on the safety car go out, so we just hear from our race director to tell the guys the safety car will be in this lap. And all will be well. Hello, Lynchy. Lynchy is here.
That's safety car coming in this lap.
And as we hear, safety car is in this lap. How are you doing, Lynchy? I hope you are doing well. Lynchy says, all good, happy days. So, we're seeing... So, we're just going to see if Liam Fraser now backs up the grid, because he becomes the de facto safety car. And he's going to get this underway. So he should now start to slow down, let the safety car pit, and then the start is all up to him. Don't forget, no overtaking before the start-finish line on the green flag. So no getting the jump on the driver behind you. And it looks like he's go, go, go in the Space Racing team. He is off. Look at him go. So as he crosses now the start-finish line, he leads Kruger, Spook, English, Twinfo, Jack, Frozen, Xanax, Jad, Jordan, Wild Boys as they cross the line. Unfortunately, Wano, Aski and Ricky Tan are at the back of the grid quite far away, so they're going to have no joy here. As we see Twinfo looking like he's going to make a move on English. He doesn't indeed, so he's still stuck behind English. As we see English actually getting a little bit wide, so Twinfo now pushing him along hard. What happened to Rich and Jan? We missed it, but apparently they collided, Lynchy. Both had to pit for repairs and ended up being a long way behind. Unfortunately, because it's only a 20-minute race, we can't. There's not enough time for them to basically catch up because the safety car was so fast. Because look at this, Twinflo's looking going around the outside of the Space Racing team, but he's not going to get the move done there. Now he's going to allow Jack to close up, but we see him flashing his lights now at the Space Racing team. He's desperate to get past. Lynchy says, "Oh yeah, absolutely. What a shame." We see now Twinflo. I wish I could do the side eyes. Absolutely. Yeah, I didn't see the incident, unfortunately, between Aski and Ricky Tan. But it would have been one to see. As we see now, Twinflo now powering up the hill. We see Fraser actually pull that 6/10 gap to Kruger instantly. Now Jack looking to go around the outside of Twinflo through the hairpin. Look at this, Jack puts the move on, goes around the outside and gets the inside for a second, but now gets wiggly on the exit here. So Jack makes the boldest move I've ever seen at the top of the chicane. But now he's got to suffer all the way down the hill. So Jack now holding the outside. He needs to outbrake Twinflo in, but Twinflo's got to cut in. So it's got to try and allow Frozen Joy to run the outside now. So Frozen Joy is going to try and take the outside on both, but Jack should cut him off for the exit here, but Jack doesn't. As we see another FRD Racing team going wide at the back. So now we've got Jack and Frozen Joy now bumper to bumper as they push themselves down. But look at that Ferrari just starting to gap on the way down to the first chicane. But look at this, the FRD Racing team of Xanax looking down the inside. But you see Twinflo running wide and Jack spinning. Oh no, Jack half spin on the exit. Did he get pushed by Frozen Droid? I don't know. But Jack with a half spin gets back on the power. Nearly drops it into continues. But look at this. FLD's racing team of Xanax through on Frozen Droid. So Frozen Droid and Jack definitely, I think, had it coming together there. Frozen Droid down a place to Xanax. So Xanax the poacher. But look at this. He runs wide. This is going to allow Frozen Droid up the outside of him. And we see Frozen Droid powering up the outside. He needs to be brave here. Can Xanax hold the outside line? You don't want to run wide here. It's super slippery as he does so. But now his teammate in the sister car, JR, is going to try and run down the inside, but there's nothing cooking there. So Frozen Droid gets back through on the FLD Racing team, and they are away. So Twinflo now, boo, push, Terabyte. Yeah, I think he might have had a slight touch from Frozen Droid, I think, through that chicane. So that dropped Jack right down into 10th place with his teammate Wild Boys just behind him in 11th. So let's have a look at the front here. Look at these three actually. Nose to tail here. The gap has come down to 3/10 here between Liam, Kruger and Spook. Spook is carrying all the ballast, don't forget. 60 kilograms of additional weight. As we see the BMW sliding through the exit there. As they push on down to the start-finish straight. 5 minutes and 9 seconds to go of the first sprint race. What an incredible start to this Super Sprint Championship we have here in the GSMC. But look at that Audi, just absolutely gapped. It was 3/10 onto the start-finish straight, and it got to 5/10, so 2/10 just down the start-finish straight alone. I think Spook might be starting to feel a little bit of frustration here as he's now stuck behind. Let's see if we can listen to the full one-ton racing team. Absolutely nothing cooking with these boys. These guys are absolutely fixed. We do have a battle behind as well with Frozen Droid and Xanax. Let's have a look on with those guys as we see Frozen Droid now cutting through. Yeah, so Xanax a little way behind, so he's not going to get anything coming in. But we see Spook now just putting the pressure heavy onto Kruger. As we've got 4 minutes remaining, a couple of laps to go here in the GSMC. Everyone's probably Got loads of fuel remaining. Oh, as we see Spook making an uncharacteristic mistake there. He runs wide at the bottom of Aqua Minerale there. That's going to drop him off the back of this pack and hurt his tyres. I think he might be on soft tyres, so he might be struggling here. Actually, we can have a look at his tyres. Let's see, you guys can't probably read this, but I can. He is on medium tyres. So Spook is on mediums, but the guys in front are on softs and softs. So I've heard a few guys say that soft may not last to the end of this race, but that safety car is definitely going to have saved them and helped them. As we see now, Kruger pushing Fraser along 6/10 behind here in that BMW. It's super fast around these tracks. It is loving life. But Spook is dropped off the back of this, but we see his teammate as well dropped off the back of English 52. So English is in 4th place out and doing a fantastic job here for the Space Racing team. 1st and 4th would be an incredible finish for these guys. 3 minutes and 10 seconds remaining. The main battle on track is for pole position here. Don't forget, this will be a complete flip reversal, first to last. So Fraser will have to come through the back of the grid to win the next race. As we see him bumping across the curb here, this is allowing the BMW just to catch one up. Look at that BMW, so menacing. It looks so big compared to the Audi. As they are cruising round the Villeneuve hairpin and pushing up the hill here. Where is Jack here? Jack is on his lonesome here. He's got a Jordan bearing down on behind him. So he is out of the race. Frozen Droid and Xanax have just gapped, reducing the two FLD racing team close together. Ricky Town right at the back of the grid here, all on his lonesome, unfortunately. He's only into the final 2 corners. So yeah, he's not going to be too happy with his race. Actually, let's listen to the Bron Boys radio. Let's see if anything's cooking on there. As we see Liam Fraser leading the pack. Just hear a little bit of heavy breathing, which is always lovely. We always appreciate the breathing here at the GSMC. A little bit of ASMR huffing for you guys. So Kruger now 8/10 behind Fraser. It is looking very, very difficult to get around that Audi. That BMW just looks so menacing though, doesn't it? It looks incredible. Oh, he runs a little bit wide on the exit. Bit of spark kicking up from the under tray of the car here. And we see Xanax and JR close together actually. Let's have a look here. These guys look like they might be battling. I wonder if they're going to hold station at all. Let's listen to the FLD racing team, see if they're going to race each other or continue on the way. Again, more sensual breathing here on our team radio communications. Definitely something we like. But actually, English 52 and Twinflow back into contention here. So English must have lost a bit of time there through the first sector because Twinflow is right on his gearbox here as they push through. 1 minute and 7 seconds remaining. They might get another lap out of this actually. Depends on when the front runners cross the start finish line. Depends on when we get another lap or not. But we see English now starting to take defensive lines here into the Villeneuve chicane as they power up. So English is going to be hoping that this is the final lap of the race here. Let's listen to the Space Racing Team radio.
Keep going, Liam. 2 more.
Yeah, there you go. Like, he's counting down the times. He's pushing hard here. Definitely sounded like he was pushing hard up the top. That was English 52 there, pushing up the hill. As he goes for Aqua Minerale, car steps out a little bit. He gets to drive up the hill. That is very, very loud. Sounds like someone's hoovering in the background there. Is Twinflow got to go for the move down the inside? It's going to be a move and a half here. Doesn't get it done on the exit. Looks like English has run a little bit wide here. Twinflow is now on the back of him. He's going to look to go around the outside here. That is going to be a move and a half. Powering down. Gets the, look at these two are so close together here. English goes for the defensive line. That's going to allow Twinflow just to hold through. But Twinflow doesn't get a good exit here. Is he going to get a good exit through the X? No minutes remaining. So we've got to see Liam Fraser cross the start-finish line, I think, to win the first race. We do indeed. So Fraser runs across the start-finish line. David Kruger in second. Spook into 3rd place. English holds off Twinflow into 4th and 5th. Frozen Droid in 6th. Xanax 7th. JR in 8th place. So we see Jack in 9th place crossing the line. So Jordan must have... No, Jack's... How... So Wild Boys must have made a mistake. So Wild Boys now... No, Wild Boys was definitely back. So Jack up into 9th place gets another position here. We see Wild Boys crossing the line in 11th. Let's see if Rich has anything to say as he crosses the start-finish line about his...
Check how much fuel I have left.
As we see Aski now heading down the hill as well, and Ricky Tan sadly at the top of the chicane. A little bit of a lonely finish for these boys. We did try with a safety
Okay, now
car.
this is going to be interesting. You're going to see, you're standing up on pole. Fucking hell. Okay.
So they just realised that Ricky Tan starting in pole position, but that is not going to be any consolidation for
Oh, yeah.
the...
No, wait, it's quali. It's quali reverse, isn't it? Or is it race finish? Race finish.
So they have just
You
learned
on pole.
it
Oh,
is
okay.
race reverse.
Yeah,
So
that's
Ricky
going to be
Tan
weird.
is on pole position for the next race. He's just claimed that is going to be weird. It is indeed. So, wow. So let's run down this finishing order. So we've got Liam Fraser in first place, David Kruger in second place, Spook in third, English 52 in fourth, Twin Flow in fifth, Frozen Droid sixth, Xanax in seventh place, JR eighth, Jack in ninth, Jordan 10th, Wild Boys in 11th, Wano Aski in 12th, and Ricky Tan in 13th place. So what is going to happen now is we are going to push the server into the warm-up phase. So we're going to reload the race essentially. So we're going to go to the next event so it saves our scores, push into the warm-up phase, and then we are going to fully reverse the grid. So this is going to take us a couple of minutes to do this. So while we do that, I have prepared... So I've got a video lined up for you. So we do have another series called the GSME, which Ricky Tan runs. So this is our endurance championship. Our last race was at Spa-Francorchamps, and Frozen Droid put together a highlight reel video of that race. So I'm going to show you that highlight reel. We do have loads of these videos on our YouTube channel, so feel free to watch those. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play that for you guys now, and we will be back when it finishes, hopefully with the reverse grid. I can still see the chat, so don't feel free to chat away. Let us know what you thought of the first reverse grid as we just wait for everyone to load in. So we'll see you in a second.
In the same town, trying to find something new. Broken picture frame, I've been frozen in, trying to find a better view. This ain't me, this ain't cool, this ain't what I signed up to. This ain't right, it's no good, no good. Oh, everything is changing, and I've been here for too long, going through the same things. I've been hurting, don't wrong, got to move on. Say, I can't do this anymore. If everything is changing, then I know, yeah, gotta let go. I don't understand playing by the same hand, how you'll find something new. I can't work it out what it's all about. I won't live my life through you. This ain't real, this ain't true, this ain't what I signed up to. This ain't right, it's no good, no good. Oh, everything is changing, and I've been here for too long, going through the same things. I've been hurting, don't wrong, got to move on. Say, I can't do this anymore. If everything is changing, then I know,
Hello, 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 and welcome back. We are just about ready and set up for our reverse grid second sprint race of the evening. We are just in the warm-up phase. We have about 8 or 9 seconds until we push into the race, and then we can see the reverse grid in action. We do know, though, Ricky Tan, pole position for the reverse grid, which is incredible for him. Not so much for the first race, but it should be something to see for the second race. Fast guys will be at the back, the slow guys will be at the front. This should be an incredible race here at the GSMC. So we're just waiting for our lovely race director to push on into the race, and then we can continue on. And here we go. He has pushed on into the race, which is nice. So let us ride at the start of the grid. As we see everyone starting to bump, as we see Ricky Tan instantly boom straight into pole position there. We just need everyone to bum onto the grid, and then we can set up our reverse grid predictions here. And we actually do see the Farmer Joe Racing Team in 2 and 4 there. So that is interesting. So we're just waiting for everyone to leave the pits. Wild Boys need to leave the pits. Frozen Joy, Twin Flow English, Spook, Kruger and Liam. They're probably setting up some fuel. Terabyte said, awesome video. Thank you very much, Terabyte. Yes, that was done by our very own Mr. Frozen Droid. It was a fantastic race. Unfortunately, I was one of the cars at the top of El Rouge that got crashed out of the race, and I had to retire because I had irreparable damage to the vehicle. So 18, 17, 16 seconds to go. We need to start my replay buffer. Replay buffer is set. Let's go to live feed, make sure we're on live. Looks like everyone is out and they are away. So let us set our starting order and have a look at our grid position here. So Ricky Tan in first place with Wino Aski in second. Drive by Racing Team Wild Boys in third, followed by Jordan in fourth place. Jack in 5th, again, starting in 5th place. JR in 6th. Zalak 7th. Frozen Droid in 8th place. Twin Flow in 9th. English 52 in 10th. Let's see if we can get past Twin Flow. Spook in 11th. David Kruger in 12th place. And at the back of the grid, because he finished so well, Liam Fraser in the Space Racing Team, our winner of the last race, right at the back of the grid for a second. What an interesting race this is going to be here at the GSMC. Let's bring up all our information. There we have it. So Ricky Tan, let's see what he has to say on the team radio. Leading the grid, Lynchy will be happy to see a Brum Boys at the front of the grid. Nothing cooking there. He is very, very concentrating on getting the job done. We'll be interested to see what this man, the winner of the last race, could do. Liam Fraser, Space Racing Team at the back of the grid. Can he push through the BMW? Can he get through those guys? Terabyte says his money is on this gentleman, Mr. Wild Boy, starting in P3 in the drive-by racing Ferrari. He has got Jordan just behind him, and he's got Jack, his teammate, just behind him as well. Actually, let's see if they're talking about anything.
No, Mammoth Racing.
These guys are always having a
race
chat.
Mammoth, would you race like a saber-tooth?
They're racing.
Yeah.
They're talking about prehistoric racing,
I
apparently.
wouldn't want to fight a saber-tooth.
Always interesting to listen to these guys. If they're not singing, they're talking absolute nonsense, which is great to see. At least they're talking, and we're not just getting ASMR heavy breathing as per usual. As now we see the grid come round to the start. We see now Ricky Tan bringing the grid to a stop at his right pit stall in P1. Hopefully he can get a good start away. He has got Aski, who starts very fast beside him. As we see Wild Boys way out of position in his grid box there. Basically in the middle of the track. Let's see what that is going to do for him, as we just see the last of the grid forming up to the back of the grid. This is our second race of this evening. Our very, very first sprint race, super sprint race event. And we see the 20 minutes and 7 seconds timer right. So we've got 1 light, 2 light, 3 light, 4, 20 minutes, and it's go, goes, go. We see Ricky Tan get good job. Wild Boys stalled on the grid. Everyone gets around Wild Boys perfectly, but we see that is now bunched the grid right up. But we see Wild Boys now right to the back of the grid from third to last. Your prediction, Terabyte, has not come true. See Ricky Tan leading the grid into the first corner. They're almost 3 wide at the back with the wontons there. As we see Ricky Tan now pushing through, lovely. as we see a fast Rhino Aski on his tail here. We've got our intervals not working at all here, so let's refresh our overlays page, see if we can get those back working. And as we see them now powering down into the second hairpin, we've got our intervals back, which is lovely. Let's see where we've got here. We've got Jack and Frozen Droid in 5 and 6 just behind here. We see Jack chasing JR up the hill, trying to get a move on him. The Wontons behind in 7th and 8th nose to tail here. Kruger in 9th, English 52 in 10th place. A gap between Jordan and Fraser. Now Wild Boy's down into 13th. I don't know if that was a deliberate mistake for him off the start line or not, but we're just watching Ricky Tan now getting away slightly from Wino Aski, putting 3 tenths here as we see JR running wide through Aqua Minerale. That's got to hold his position, but we see Jack now looking like he might shape up a move around the outside, but no, JR holds the line nicely as they go through the top of the hill chicane. But Frozen Droid now behind Jack, wanting to put some pressure on him. This is like the same as the first race, with Frozen Droid chasing Jack down and not being able to get through. And we see actually a bit of a gap between these guys and the fast guys behind. Where is Liam Fraser? He's in 11th. He's got through Jordan and Wobbles. Jordan may have made a mistake here. No, Jordan is now back down into 12th, 13th place at the back of the grid behind Wild Boys. It didn't take them too long to fall behind the grid, as now we see the cars now powering down a straight. Let's see what Aski can do on Rikitan. So Rikitan actually gets a nice move away. He's now pulled a second gap ahead, so Rikitan's making a good look at this. Frozen Droid now looking down the inside of Jack. Does he get the move done? Jack needs to brake late here. Frozen Droid slips up the inside nicely here. That is a nice move there from Frozen Droid. So Jack now on the back foot. Xanax is going to be able to get a nice run on him as Jack now falls back into the clutches, but looks like Xanax is having to defend hard from Spook here. Spook just behind as they go through the second chicane. Jack wrong-footed there. Jack run wide. Xanax is going to go run outside, but no, look at Spook now up the inside. Spook's going to take 2 spaces here. Spook goes through. Twin Flow goes through. Xanax goes back. Xanax doesn't get the move, but the BMW runs extremely wide on the exit here. They are, look at this gaggle of cars here. Jack hasn't given up though. Jack powering up the hill. Can he get back at Twin Flow? Come on, camera, change. Jack's looking to go around the outside of the wonton at the hill. Jack's going to run wide here. Slippery stuff on the outside. Jack Lee gets it, lost it there. We allowed Xanax through on the inside the Space Racing Team car of English 52. He's going to go around the outside of Aqua Minerale. That takes a lot of kahunas there as we see Jack contacting the back of Space Racing Team here. Jack makes a mistake. He's going to run back onto the track, but he continues his position. Jack gives up the BMW there into the back. This is insane racing here. We see Jack and English coming together. Oh, here's Jack getting spun by the BMW at the top of the hill, and he gets collided into by his teammate here. His teammate has a crash at the top of the hill. Jack spins back round, doesn't get the car going. Jordan gets through, so Jack is demoted down to the back of the grid. That is a shame from Jack there, as we see Spook just running wide there on the exit of the second chicane. Jack probably took some damage there from his teammate Wild Boys, who just run straight into him. Let's see if they have to say anything.
Keep pushing.
Jack saying just keep pushing here, as we see Wino Aski now setting the fastest lap time of the race so far. Still 8 tenths behind, but we see this gaggle here. Look at this. So we see JR, Frozen Droid, Spook and Twin Flow here. Who is that Aston Martin ahead there? Oh, that is Aski there. So Aski's dropped into the clutches of JR. That threw me there for a second. I thought that can't be Jordan, can it? As they go through the first chicane here. So first chicane, they're going through the first hairpin at Villeneuve as they push up the hill. Ricky Tan now commanding lead 1.035 seconds as they go on up the hill. Spook and Twin Flow nose to tail just behind, with Xanax through, English in 8th, Liam Fraser in 9th, David Kruger down there in 10th place. Wild Boys Jordan Jack bring up the back of the grid as we're just looking now at Twin Flow, looking like he's trying to get around Spook through Aqua Minerale. It's not going to be a move there. It takes huge amounts of skill and overspeed there, as we saw English 52 pull a similar onto Jack through there just a lap ago. Incredible move actually for him. As who is that at the top of the hill? Is that JR getting screwed it? Look at this Frozen Droid now trying to go around. There's a collision there. Frozen Droid gets put onto the grass there, so there's no room for Frozen Droid. He should have backed out. There's no point sticking the nose for a closing wedge, and JR's got a lot of speed on Wino Aski. Aski gets a little bit sideways through the first left-hander. Is he going to hold it through the second? Is he going to get sideways again? He runs really wide through the exit here. JR on the power, already alongside as a power on down the straight. JR is squeezing him to the inside. Looks like JR might have this move done before they get to the first chicane. They do indeed. Best lap time by Twinflow, 144.921, as we see JR absolutely taking command and getting into second place here. Askey, bad exit through the final corner and gets it moved done. Wow, what a great move from JR. JR up into P2 here. Wino Askey down into P3. Frozen Droid now is going to be onto the back of these. But we see Liam Fraser and his teammate English 52 together. As we see, oh, look at this. Look, tandem spin there. Was that a push there? Was that a push? Was that a push from Askey, or was that a spin? We see Askey now behind Xanax as they go up the hill. So Askey now down into 6th place. So they had a big spin together. So that has released Spook into Frozen Droid. Spook and Frozen Droid now are battling, but Ricky Tan now 2.8 seconds up the hill with 13 minutes and 30 seconds to go. This is a terrific race. We're seeing these fast guys not taking a lot of time to get through. Carter says, no, JR, no, absolutely. I don't know what happened there. Hopefully I got a replay event of that. It doesn't look like it's saved, which is a real shame. So we see Spook and Frozen Droid and Twinflow all nose to tail here. English 52 and Askey just behind as well. So it looks like Askey is chasing down Xanax, is a little way ahead. And we've got the 2 Space Racing Audis just behind, followed by the BMW of David Kruger. So Liam Fraser's actually got through the BMW again, so he's just ahead of the BMW. So BMW's not going to be liking staring at the back of that Audi again, that is for sure. As we now see them start across the start-finish straight with 12 minutes and 40 seconds remaining. Let's run to the front here. This is going to be a tight battle. So we see Spook, Twinflow, Frozen Droid. These are the guys with the ballast. All battling now for 2nd, 3rd and 4th place here. In fact, we can bring up the extended battle box so we can have a look at this more closely. So only a couple of attempts here, but it looks like, look at that. It just looks like the Aston has a little bit more turning on the front axle. As we see him just looking to stick up his nose up the inside, but doesn't get it done. As they go up the hill now, it looks like Frozen Droid just gets the legs of him on the acceleration point. Twinflow falling just a little bit into Spook. As they go through, look at that, it just doesn't have the turn in that McLaren. Just can't seem to get the front end grip. Those Astons are able to put that car exactly where they want without losing speed. And that McLaren is really, really struggling here. Ricky Tan's lost a couple of attempts here to this backpack. There he is there. Ricky Tan just going for a screen. 2.641 seconds ahead. As they head up to the top of the hill. Now down to 2 seconds. So this pack is catching him. But as we all know, it is one thing to catch, it is another thing entirely to pass. But look at this, look at the battle behind here. So we've got Wino Askey ahead of the 2 Space Racing teams, followed by the BMW of David Kruger. This is 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th place, all separated by 0.3 of a second here. This is going to be a tight old battle. 11 minutes to go. Can Ricky Tan hold on to win his first GSMC Revengeance race here at the Sprint Reverse Super Sprint? So, we see, look at his, look, we see English 52 trying to make a move. He's flashing his lights on Wino Askey. Is he going to go down the inside? No, Askey covers him off nicely here. So, Askey is making the widest Farmer Joe Racing Team Aston Martin ever. It is as wide as a tractor as these 2 Audis now trying to chase him down. We see Twinflow, Spook and Frozen Droid still neck and neck here, just staying within 2 seconds of Ricky Tan. As we see, look, he'd go for a late dive up the inside there, but nothing happening. Farmer Joe of Askey shuts the door, and now they power up the hill. But is that going to make English 52 fall into the clutches of Mr. Fraser, his teammate? As they power on, West cooking with Jack. Jack is in 11th, 10 seconds behind JR in 10th place here. Jordan and Wobbot. Oh, look at that. Who is that? Got really wide off the back there. That is Liam Fraser. So Liam Fraser, our winner of the last race. But actually, we see Askey spinning. Askey spinning at Aqua Minerali. So Askey is sideways here. Gets back onto the track, avoids a collision as he continues up his way. But David Kruger is gonna absolutely poach this one. He's got through both of the Audis on that in 2 corners as he runs wide though. So that is going to allow Liam Fraser, who just dropped on place, is he's going to get back through. He's going round the outside, the long way around as they power on down the hill. The BMW just needs to brake late and hold the inside, but it looks like the Audi's got ahead. Is he got ahead into the corner? No, the BMW does what he needs to do, but it looks like the 2 Audis are going to come together as they come through. They are. There's a collision there between the 2 Audis. English 52 comes off worse, but he manages to hold it together as he continues to away. But this is going to allow JR now a good run onto the Audi of English 52. I'm dead happy. What the hell is this? See what happens when I'm not here to worship the Temple of Wonton. I'm dead happy. I'll explain in just a second, my friend. Because we are just watching JR now going around the outside into turn 1 of English 52. Is he going to hold on to the brakes here? He does. So English 52 continues on his way through the Tamburello chicane. Ricky Tan still ahead. So, I'm dead happy. This is a reverse grid super sprint race. This is the second of the 2 20-minute races we've done this evening. So this is a full reverse grid of your finishing positions of the first race. So Spook and Twinflow started way down the grid and they've worked their way through within 12 minutes to P3 and P4. So actually they're doing very well. So English 52 holds off the charging JR after JR had a spin. So let's ride with Twinflow here. So Twinflow is just ahead of Spook. Spook is carrying maximum ballast, don't forget, as they head up the hill. So Ricky Tan has dropped a little bit to Frozen Joy, 1.3 seconds. He is charging, 8 minutes to go. What a super sprint race this has been. What an incredible thing to happen here. So let's see if JR can get through on English 52. Both in Audis, both super fast. Look at that JR taking a lot of curb here through the exit. But English gets the car planted sooner so he can get on the power a lot earlier. Absolutely, you keep rubbing that one to Rosie. It's definitely working. As now we see JR going through. Let us see. Let us listen to. Let's see if the rumble is going on.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is Frozen. Frozen chasing Ricky Tan. So 1.5 seconds. So yeah, they aren't going to be talking too much. Who else we've got? Full Wonton. Actually, let's listen to the full. No, that's not the full Wonton boys, is it? That is not. This is the full Wonton boys. So we actually see Twinflow now onto the back of Frozen Joy. Frozen Joy running really wide there. He's going to push him to the outside. Is he going to try and go all around the outside? No, he's not. So Frozen Joy closing the door.
On the next lap there, if he goes wide, take the inside.
I can't. I couldn't take it that time.
No. Next time, so if you can.
So they're discussing whether he'd go wide. So I think we've seen Frozen Joy going wide a few times here. That front of that McLaren just doesn't seem to be pointing exactly where he wants to. He turns in and the car just drifts wide with understeer. It doesn't seem to be too happy. Look, a little bit understeer on the way in, oversteer on the way out. They're pressing up the hill. Ricky Tan now increased his gap again to 2 seconds while these guys now battle out. So Ricky Tan's just got to keep it clean. 6 minutes to go. This is the main battle that we see here for second place, second, third and fourth. It could all turn around within a matter of seconds. As we see now, Frozen Joy powering down the hill on the brakes nice and hard. Nothing cooking on the inside. He's just got to follow him through and try and get a really nice exit through this corner and try and slip him down into the turn 1 chicane at Tamburello. So down the start finish straight, does he seem to be gaining on him? Actually lost a little bit of time there, so nothing cooking here. Is Frozen Joy going to defend the inside line? He should definitely. He doesn't though, but Twinflow not fast enough to send anything down the inside. The ABS on his cars is so good that they can just brake at the last second and not lock up the tyres. But Twinflow is literally pushing through. He wants him to make the same mistake on the exit here, so he can try and switch back to the inside. So Frozen Joy runs through, but Frozen Joy doesn't make a mistake there as they head into the Villeneuve hairpin. Looks like Frozen Joy is now picking up the pace because they're gaining back onto Ricky Tan through this first sector by about 0.4 of a second as they now fly up the hill. English 52 and JR's worth checking on these. Look at these two. These are nose to tail. But JR, look at that. Hard on the power there. Gets the tail wagging. So that's going to slow him down up the hill. So let us switch back into this battle between second, third and fourth place. 4 minutes, 48 seconds to go. Terabyte. Both sprint races have been super close and awesome entertainment. Terabyte, I agree. What a great format that we've come up with here at the GSMC. I think these guys are absolutely giving everything they've got. Having a little break in between probably helped them refresh for sure as well. As they bounce through the top of the hill chicane. Ricky Tan slow there through there. Now 1.1 seconds ahead of Frozen Droid. He needs to keep his nerve here. Doesn't want to slow down too much. He needs to build that gap back up. That 2 seconds was comfortable. 1 second, not so much. What he really wants is these wontons and the Top Goon racing team of Frozen Droids to start really squabbling and taking off a lot of time from each other. As we see Jack up into 10th place, so Kruger has dropped down to 11th as well, so Jack up to P10, Askey into P9, Zanax 8, JR and English are still very, very close together. So look at this, Frozen Droid having to go defensive now into the corner. The Wonton's going to try and go around the outside over the curbs here. That's going to slow him down. That's going to allow Spook to go around the outside. It does indeed. So Spook now capitalises on that mistake. So Spook has been released to have a go at Frozen Droid. What happened to Kruger? Dropped into the pit temporarily. Did he indeed? Let's have a look at Kruger. He's still here. Doesn't look like he's been in the pits. He is a good 5 seconds behind Jack. So he might have made a little mistake. Might have switched tyres. Not entirely sure. But now look at this. Spook straight onto the back of Frozen Droid, who is suffering immensely here. This car is just not working the way he wants it to work. And he's feeling the pressure because he's Spook running just a little bit wide at the top of the hill. All that extra weight he's carrying isn't going to be his friend around here, that's for sure. Lots of shift in the direction, lots of up and downs. We see Rikitan running super wide at the exit of Aqua Minerale there. Luckily, he's not going to slow him down too much. 2 minutes and 50 seconds remaining. That is a couple of laps here as we see them now power through the chicane at the top of the hill. Look at that. Spook gets really, really hard on the inside second chicane there. Gets the car basically in the air and sliding sideways. 1.1 seconds now to Ricky Tan. This is the battle for second, third and fourth that we're watching. Twinflow had made a mistake into turn 1 chicane. Has now dropped back. Frozen Droid now pushing on, driving for his life, driving for second place here. Look at this, first, second, third, fourth, all within a little window of each other. And we see JR now dropped off a little bit from English 52, so there's a bit of a gap here. Frozen Droid's going to have to look to defend the inside here because Spook is going to send it. Spook brakes really early there because Spook had the overspeed but knew he couldn't make it happen. As we see, actually, Frozen Droid really slow on the exit as Spook and Twinflow now push hard. Pushing really hard for the extra points here as they see them going through. So is Frozen going to run wide here because they're looking for it. Frozen runs a little bit wide, but Spook's going to set up for the inside, I think. Is he looking? He's looking. Nothing cooking there. Frozen Joy goes. Ricky Tan still 1.142 seconds ahead. 1 minute 32 seconds remaining. This could be the last lap. Will Ricky Tan win this super sprint race here at the GSMC at Imola? As we see Frozen Droid still battling for his life as they go through the top of the hairpin. Coming down into Aqua Minerale hard on the brakes, gets the car turned in. Look at the Wonton though, Wonton could just set that car up. Oh, look at that though, drifting through the exit. That's going to slow him down. His brother now, Twinflow, he's going to have the run. Is he going to allow him past? He's going to hold station here. So, little bit of a respite there for Frozen Droid. But the two Wontons are desperate to get past this guy. This is an extremely wide McLaren here. Ricky Tan doing a fine job up in front. Power onto the brakes here. 42 seconds remaining, so there's going to be one more lap in this race as they go down the start-finish straight for the second to last time. Penultimate lap here on the super sprint race at Imola. Across the start-finish line now. We actually see Fraser at the back of the grid there. Looks like he might be catching up to these guys as they're battling. But look at this. Spook gets the inside line. Gets the move done, I think. Is Frozen Droid going to fight? As Frozen Droid doesn't fight it here. So Spook gets the move done. Spook gets through Frozen Droid. Ricky Town 1.5 ahead. 10 seconds remaining on the clock. This is the final lap. Can Spook close down Ricky Town in the final lap? Or is Frozen Droid going to fight back for his second place here? Frozen Droid in P3. As his tyres gone off, he's got to run wide here on the exit, I think. He had to run shallow, but look at this. Twin Flow's setting up for the inside here. Doesn't get it done, so Spook is definitely clear. Frozen Droid now having to fight for 4th and 3rd place here. Can Twin Flow get onto the back of Frozen Droid? Looks like Frozen Droid... What's happened to Frozen Droid?
That's really stupid.
Has Frozen Droid run out of fuel? I think Frozen Droid's run out of fuel. No! Frozen Droid stops, runs out of fuel up the run up the hill. That is why Frozen Droid was so slow. Oh my god, so Frozen Droid out of the points, dropping down the list. Down, down, down he goes. P9 at the moment as he's returned back to the pits. That is a real shame there from Frozen Droid. So let's ride on board with our current race leader, Ricky Tan. 1.655 seconds, 2 corners to go. Can Ricky Tan win the Imola Super Sprint reverse grid race? Hard onto the brakes now into the second to last corner. Gets the car turned in nicely. Look at the Aston, the Brum Boys Aston. Look at this, it looks fantastic. He has led from start to finish as Ricky Tan now crosses a line
2
here.
years. Sick. 2 years. Well deserved.
Well done, Ricky Tan. 2 years, my friend. As
buddy.
Ricky Tan crosses the
sure.
line here in 1st place. We see Spook Twinfos in 2nd. And we see Fraser here in 3rd. English crossing the line in 5th. JR dropped a little bit back there into 6th place with his teammate just behind in 7th place. Askey in 8th. Where's Jack finish? He's crossing the line now in 9th. David Kruger, he is coasting along there. Has he run out of fuel? Has he run out of fuel? Is he going to cross the finish line here? I think Kruger has indeed. No, the finish line is there. Can he cross the finish line, or will Jordan take the final place? Jordan goes through. Jordan crosses the line, I think, ahead of Kruger. Does he? No, I think the start finish line is back there actually. So that maybe it ain't close, but yeah, Kruger runs out of pit of fuel. Frozen Droid in the pits. Wild Boys crosses the line in 12th place. Terabyte, great racing tonight, full of action as ever. Spot on commentary boost. Look forward to the next race. Terabyte, thank you very much. Talking of the next race, let us have a look at the data here. Well done to Ricky Tan. That is not the rate I wanted. I wanted this one. So we do have Spa scheduled now, but the next race isn't until the 10th of September here for us at the GSMC, which will be Spa, and then we'll be on to Assen the week after, and then our final at Bathurst on the 15th of October. We do have a GSME race in a couple of weeks, so look forward to seeing that. But other than that, that has been it here. I hope you have all enjoyed the Super Sprint race. I'd like to thank our race director, Kendo, as always, for sorting out the reverse grid and everything for us. Thank you all very much for watching. We will see you again next time.